You have been lied to. From the moment you were old enough to understand language, a single destructive program was installed into your mind. The belief that trying is a virtue. You were told that if you want something enough, if you push hard enough, if you grind your bones into dust, the universe will yield to you. But look at your life. Look closely at the things you desire most: peace, love, abundance, sleep. Do they come when you run after them, or do they flee? Consider the insomnia of the soul. It is 3 a.m. The room is silent, but your mind is a storm of static. You try to sleep. You command your body to relax. You count the seconds. And what happens? The more effort you apply to the act of sleeping, the more awake you become. The harder you try to calm down, the more the anxiety tightens its grip around your throat. This is not a coincidence. This is a fundamental law of physics that you have ignored for too long. Effort creates resistance. This is the great paradox of your existence. You are a radio, constantly tuning between stations, creating nothing but noise, wondering why you cannot hear the music. You are pushing against a door that is labeled pull. And today, we are going to stop pushing. Before we unlock the first seal of this mechanism, if you are one of the few who suspects that the struggle itself is the trap, if you are ready to stop fighting the current and finally become the river, please click subscribe. Join us in the deep end. Let us decode the vibration of silence together. Let us strip bare the architecture of your daily suffering. You live in a society that fetishizes struggle. We applaud the tired, the worn out, the busy. We wear our exhaustion like a badge of honor, believing that suffering is the currency with which we buy our future happiness. But this is a deception. In the physical realm, yes, you must lift a weight to build a muscle. But in the metaphysical and quantum realms, where your reality is actually shaped, effort is often a signal of lack. When you try to be happy, you are reinforcing the reality that you are not happy. When you try to be wealthy, you are screaming to the universe that you are currently poor. The act of trying implies a separation between you and the thing you seek. It is a declaration of distance. You are essentially telling the quantum field, I do not have this, and the field, being an impartial mirror, reflects that lack back to you with perfect precision. Think of a time when you were truly in the zone, a moment of pure flow. Maybe you were driving, or creating art, or simply laughing with a friend. In that moment, were you trying? No. You simply were. The action happened through you, not by you. The moment you engaged the analytical mind, the moment you thought, am I doing this right? The flow collapsed, the magic evaporated, the scaffolding of the ego returned, and with it, the heaviness of existence. We must understand that the ego loves effort because effort validates the ego's existence. The ego needs problems to solve, battles to fight, and mountains to climb. If there is no struggle, the ego feels hollow, unnecessary. So it creates friction where none is needed. It complicates the simple. It turns a walk in the garden into a march toward a destination. This is the illusion of struggle, the belief that movement equals progress and that noise equals significance. The philosopher Alan Watts often spoke of the backwards law, a concept deeply rooted in the observation of nature. It suggests that the more you pursue a positive experience, the more negative the experience becomes. Conversely, the acceptance of a negative experience is in itself a positive experience. This is not just wordplay, it is a description of energetic hydraulics. Imagine you are caught in a quicksand of emotional turmoil. Your instinct, your programming screams at you to struggle, to fight, to claw your way out. But what happens in quicksand? The violent movement of your limbs creates pockets of vacuum. It liquefies the sand further, increasing the suction. The more you fight to survive, the faster you sink. The only way to survive is to do the one thing that feels completely counterintuitive. You must stop. You must spread your arms. You must lean back into the very thing that threatens to consume you. You must increase your surface area and trust the physics of displacement. This is the terror of the backwards law. It requires a surrender that feels like death. To find love, you must stop desperately hunting for it and become comfortable in your solitude. To find security, you must embrace the inherent uncertainty of life. To find your voice, you must first learn to listen to the silence. It is a reversal of every instinct you have been taught by a world obsessed with conquest. Now, imagine, picture this. You are an archer. You want to hit the bullseye. You stand there, muscles tense, teeth gritted, hand shaking with the sheer force of your desire to hit the target. You are trying with every fiber of your being. What happens to the arrow? It flies wide. Why? Because your tension introduced a tremor. Your desire for the future outcome ruined the present action. The master archer, however, holds the bow as if it were a part of his own body. He does not try to hit the target. He releases the arrow. The hitting of the target is merely a consequence, not a goal. This applies to the fabric of your reality. When you introduce the energy of need into a system, you introduce turbulence. You disturb the water you are trying to see your reflection in. The universe is not a vending machine that you shake until it gives you what you want. It is a sensitive instrument that responds to your resonance, not your demands. And a resonance of wanting is a resonance of not having. Now, we must descend deeper. We must leave philosophy for a moment and enter the cold, strange waters of quantum mechanics. You might think that this concept of letting go is merely spiritual poetry, a nice metaphor for relaxation. It is not. It is a biological and physical necessity for the collapse of the wave function into reality. We need to talk about the observer effect, but not in the shallow way it is usually discussed. We need to talk about the trap you create when you stare at your life too hard. In the quantum world, a system exists in a state of superposition, infinite possibilities coexisting at once, until it is observed. When you observe it, you force it to choose a state. But here is the nuance that most miss. How you observe matters. The famous quantum Zeno effect in physics tells us something disturbing. If you observe an unstable system continuously, if you never take your eyes off it, You actually prevent it from changing. You freeze it in its current state. Think about a pot of water. The old saying goes, "A watched pot never boils." Science tells us that on a quantum level, this is actually true. By constantly checking, monitoring, and trying to force a change, you are rapidly measuring the system over and over again. You are resetting its state back to not boiling with every glance. Your anxiety, your obsession with the result, acts as a brake on the process of transformation. This is the observer trap. When you are desperate for a change, you look at your reality with a gaze of judgment. You wake up and immediately check, am I still sad? Do I still have this debt? Is the pain still there? By asking the question, by looking with the intent to find the problem, you collapse the wave function back into the shape of the problem. You are calcifying the very thing you wish to dissolve. You are the scientist who kills the specimen by studying it too closely under the microscope. True change requires a moment of non-observation. It requires a gap, a blind spot where the universe is allowed to rearrange the furniture while you are not looking. This is why solutions often come when you give up. You say, "I am done. I cannot do this anymore." You walk away, you stop measuring, and in that vacuum of attention, the quantum Zeno effect is lifted. The system thaws. The wave function is finally free to evolve into a new probability. Consider this. The electron does not try to spin. The planet does not try to orbit. They simply follow the curvature of space-time. Resistance is a uniquely human invention. It is the friction caused by the belief that you know better than the intelligence that grew your bones. When you stop trying to force the outcome, you are not becoming passive, you are becoming a superconductor. You are removing the resistance from the wire so the current can travel without heat, without loss, without the scream of effort. We arrive now at the ancient Taoist concept of Wu-Wei. It is often mistranslated as laziness or doing nothing. This is a gross misunderstanding. Wu-Wei is effortless action. It is the art of cutting wood along the grain, not across it. It is the art of sailing with the wind, not rowing against it. It is action without the scar tissue of the ego. Imagine a drunk man falling from a cart. He rarely breaks a bone. Why? Because he does not tense up. He does not try to save himself. He flows with the impact. He is soft, pliable, like water. The sober man, however, sees the ground coming. He panics. He stiffens his body to resist the fall. He breaks. His effort to save himself is the very cause of his injury. This is a brutal metaphor for how you navigate your life. You are so stiff with preparation, so rigid with your plans, that when the inevitable impact comes, you shatter. There is a parable of the empty boat. If a man is crossing a river and an empty boat collides with his own skiff, even if he is a man of bad temper, he will not get angry. He will simply steer away. But if he sees a man in the boat, he will shout at him to move. If the man does not hear, he will shout again, and then he will curse. Why the difference? The collision is the same. The inconvenience is the same. The anger arises only because he believes there is a doer inside the other boat. You must become the empty boat. You must realize that the self you are so frantically trying to improve, to protect, to promote, is just a construct. It is the man in the boat. When you act from a place of, I must achieve this, you are full, you are heavy, you create waves that disturb everyone around you. But when you act from a place of stillness, when the action arises spontaneously from the silence, you are empty. You move through the world without displacement. You achieve everything, yet you do nothing. We arrive now at the ancient Taoist concept of Wu-Wei. It is often mistranslated as laziness or doing nothing. This is a gross misunderstanding. Wu-Wei is effortless action. It is the art of cutting wood along the grain, not across it. It is the art of sailing with the wind, not rowing against it. It is action without the scar tissue of the ego. Imagine a drunk man falling from a cart. He rarely breaks a bone. Why? Because he does not tense up. He does not try to save himself. He flows with the impact. He is soft, pliable, like water. The sober man, however, sees the ground coming. He panics. He stiffens his body to resist the fall. He breaks. His effort to save himself is the very cause of his injury. This is a brutal metaphor for how you navigate your life. You are so stiff with preparation, so rigid with your plans, that when the inevitable impact comes, you shatter. There is a parable of the empty boat. If a man is crossing a river and an empty boat collides with his own skiff, even if he is a man of bad temper, he will not get angry. He will simply steer away. But if he sees a man in the boat, he will shout at him to move. If the man does not hear, he will shout again, and then he will curse. Why the difference? The collision is the same. The inconvenience is the same. The anger arises only because he believes there is a doer inside the other boat. You must become the empty boat. You must realize that the self you are so frantically trying to improve, to protect, to promote, is just a construct. It is the man in the boat. When you act from a place of, I must achieve this, you are full, you are heavy, you create waves that disturb everyone around you. But when you act from a place of stillness, when the action arises spontaneously from the silence, you are empty. You move through the world without displacement. You achieve everything, yet you do nothing. So how do we live in this gap? How do we practice the art of not trying without falling into apathy? This is the final and most dangerous trap. The belief that letting go means giving up. It does not. Giving up comes from a place of despair. It is a collapse of the spirit. Letting go comes from a place of trust. It is a release of the grip. You must learn to distinguish between intention and effort. Intention is a laser. It is focused, clear, and light. Effort is a hammer. It is heavy, blunt, and exhausting. Intention sets the coordinates. Effort tries to push the ship. You need the intention, but you must drop the hammer. Here is the practical secret. You must replace doing with allowing. When you feel the familiar tightening in your chest, the anxiety about the future, the desperate need to fix a relationship, the panic about money, recognize this sensation not as a call to action, but as a signal of misalignment. Stop. Physically stop. Unclench your jaw. Drop your shoulders. Exhale the static. In that moment of stopping, you create a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you evacuate the space of your own trying, the intelligence of the universe rushes in to fill it. This is the vibration of silence. It is not empty space. It is a plenum of potential energy. It is the moment the archer opens his fingers. He does not push the arrow. He simply stops holding it back. The potential energy stored in the bow does the work.
Consider this. Now imagine you are floating in a vast ocean. For years you have been thrashing, swimming against the tide, terrified that if you stop moving your arms, you will drown. You are exhausted. Your muscles burn. The shore is nowhere in sight. Then, finally, you can take no more. You stop. You lean back. And for the first time, you feel it. The water, it holds you up. It was always holding you up. You are fighting the very thing that was designed to support you. This is the state of Wu-Wei. This is the state of the empty boat. When you stop thrashing, the current takes you. And here is the paradox. The current knows where you need to go better than you do. The current flows inevitably toward the ocean of your desire. By fighting it, by trying to steer, you are merely exhausting yourself in the shallows. Living in the gap means trusting the physics of your own existence. It means understanding that you are not a separate entity that has to hack the system. You are the system. Do you think your heart needs to try to beat? Do you think your cells need to try to divide? No. The intelligence that runs your biology is the same intelligence that spins the galaxies. It knows what to do. Your only job is to get your anxious, trying little ego out of the way. As we conclude this decoding, you will face the ultimate paradox. When you truly stop trying to get what you want, you often get it. But here is the catch. By the time it arrives, you may no longer need it in the same way. The desperate hunger will be gone, replaced by a calm preference. You will hold your desires loosely, like a bird in your open palm. If it stays, beautiful. If it flies, beautiful. This detachment is magnetic. Nothing is more attractive to the quantum field than a consciousness that is whole within itself. When you no longer need the external world to validate you, the external world rearranges itself to reflect your wholeness. The mirror smiles when you smile, but you cannot trick the mirror. You cannot try to not try. You cannot fake the surrender. It must be a genuine collapse of the scaffolding. You must be willing to be nothing so that you can become everything. You must be willing to be silent so that you can finally hear the signal. The noise of the world will return the moment this video ends. The demands, the deadlines, the pressure to be someone will wait for you at the door. But now you have a key. You know that beneath the static, there is a silence that never ceases. You know that the struggle is a choice, not a necessity. Do not try to force this understanding. Do not make relaxing your new project. Just notice the tension, notice the effort, and gently, without judgment, let it fall. Be the space between the notes. Be the pause between the breaths. Be the observer, not the struggle. If this transmission has resonated with your frequency, you know what to do. Share this signal with another soul who is drowning in their own effort. And if you wish to continue exploring the architecture of reality, click here. The silence is not the end, it is the beginning. Safe travels.